Hello everyone, my name is Ella Evans and this is my presentation for Art 237. A quick overview of everything this presentation will be going through. First, we're just going to go over a quick introduction of the art piece that this whole presentation is focused around. Then we're going to take a look at archaic Greece, which is the era in which this artwork had been produced. Next, we'll take a look at the artist of this piece and who he was. Then we'll take a closer look at the artwork itself and the mythological characters presented on it, and the story that those characters tell. This is the piece that the presentation is going to look at today. You can see it on the side here. This piece is titled Achilles Slays the Amazon Queen Penthesilea. Hopefully I am pronouncing her name correctly. It's roughly dated to be around 545 to 530 BC and is made by a Greek man named Achilles. The scene that has been painted captures the intense and emotional moment right as Achilles kills the Amazonian queen, and this amphora just has exquisite and beautiful details right up here along the kind of spout and the base here, and you can also see these beautiful details of swirls all along the sides here that we'll look further into. So this piece was made during the period of archaic Greece. Some defining factors of this period were that Greece was not a unified country or nation. Rather, city-states acted independently from one another. Each had their own rulers and their own forms of government. They all kind of had their own thing going on during this period. A lot of art started to move away from the geometric art style. Lots of art produced during this period depicted Greek mythology or the Greek gods, and that kind of showcases to us that that was a very prominent part of life. And the quote I have here says, "The abstract geometric patterning that was dominant between about 1050 and 700 BC is supplanted in the 7th century by a more naturalistic style reflecting significant influence from the Near East and Egypt." And this is, of course, talking about Greece and Greek art. This is from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So Achilles is the creator of Achilles Slays the Amazon Queen Penthesilea. He was highly skilled in both creating pottery and painting it. So there are lots of pieces that he created and painted. So he did the whole shebang. He was highly skilled in both, and he primarily worked with the black figure technique that you saw earlier on the vase we're talking about today. He signed his work with what is translated in English as Achilles Made Me, and this is an example from a different art piece just because I couldn't find a high quality image on the one we were looking at. But this is what his kind of signature looks like. And yeah, you can kind of see the similarities between it typed up here and how he's written it. And the quote here says, "Rather than showing the action of the story, as was the usual habit of artists at that time, Achilles chose to depict the moment before or after the action, introducing a new emphasis on the psychology of a scene. He also may have invented a new vase painting technique called coral red, in which parts of the vase intentionally fire red rather than the usual black." And that quote is from the Getty Museum. Just kind of gives you an overview of how he brought something new to the table during that period. So this is the picture of the amphora we're looking at today, titled Achilles Slays the Amazon Queen Penthesilea. An amphora is a large two-handed vase that can be used for storage of things such as wine, oil, or grain. Historians suggest that vases with artwork, such as the one that you see here, were used purely for decorative purposes rather than for functionality. So this piece likely didn't actually hold anything. It was just there to be pretty. Black figure, which is the technique seen on this vase, is believed to have started in Corinth. Black figure is more than just painting, however. Firstly, the artist must apply the clay slip, which is a mix of clay and water. Then they must use a sharp stylus to add all of the details in that they want. Then they would add other colors, such as the white clay used for Penthesilia's skin. And an interesting fact is that in black figure, the men are always presented as black, and the women are always depicted as white, so it creates a really big contrast between the two of them, especially on the red background there. And black figure is made throughout the firing process. So firing is the act of heating the pottery to a high enough temperature so that it turns into ceramic. With black figure, during the firing process, they actually close the vents of the kiln and increase the heat. And this lack of oxygen causes the areas such as Achilles here, that is covered in black, to turn black. The black figure, this one here is Achilles, and the white figure here is Penthesilea. Penthesilea was believed to be the daughter of Ares, who, according to Greek mythology, was the god of war. She is the Amazonian queen who brought her all-female army to Troy to help the Trojans defend their city, and she was eventually killed by Achilles, as we saw in the artwork earlier. Achilles was a legendary hero of Greek mythology. In my research, he seemed to be very similar to Hercules. He was believed to be the son of a mortal man and a sea nymph, and he has legends of epic battles, such as the one that he kills Penthesilea in. And of course, he dies from an arrow to his heel, which is where we get the term Achilles' heel from today. So looking a little onto the details, you can see the main focus of the artwork is the moment when Achilles kills Penthesilea. The moment is intense and packed with emotion and movement. Right as she dies, the two in their eyes have locked in a gaze, and some scholars believe that during this moment Achilles has fallen in love with her, but it is already too late because he has already struck her. Although the idea of him falling in love with her is debated. So this work has a very clear hierarchy because Achilles is at the top, obviously, and your eye is quite immediately drawn to him and his outstretched arm. But as you work your way down to see Penthesilea, it creates a sort of diagonal movement from his spear here, which is really interesting. It really adds a sense of movement to the artwork. And there is a beautiful distinction between all the colors that really bring it to life. All of these characters are labeled, which you can see here and along the sides here. And the top and bottom of the amphora also have these beautiful, intricate designs, which are very similar to some of the ones we saw in the geometric art earlier. All of these patterns are very precise and mathematical. They are all almost exactly the same, which is quite incredible. And then on the next slide here, you're going to see the video clip is just showcasing how the amphora looks in real life. So you can see some of the size and some of those really unique details. You get a really good glimpse of the shape of it and kind of the details on Achilles there, not so much on her, but you get to see it really nice and close up. So we'll go to that now.
Army of Amazons to help Troy and fight against the Greeks, and having distinguished herself on the battlefield in a day battle, the Amazon queen confronted and was eventually killed by Achilles in hand-to-hand combat. But after taking off their helmet, Achilles falls in love with her. The 18 centimeters diameters, 41 centimeters height, 29 centimeters width pottery, wherein the Greek hero Achilles steps to right, bearded with long tresses, fully armed, high-crested helmet, and short-stripped chiton, and has beaten down the Amazon queen Penthesilea on one knee and plunges.
Yeah, so that video gives us a really great idea of the shape of it, how it kind of looks in real life, the size, and also I really like that it showcases these beautiful, very geometric and mathematical swirls that we get to see on the side there, which are just so gorgeous and interesting. And that is my presentation. Thank you so much for watching and listening to it, and this is my bibliography. Thank you.